Hi guys, it's Christina here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about trying to find a niche as a mental health professional in the already saturated market. Let's go. So first of all, let's clarify what a niche is. So a niche is something very, very specific. So if per se for me, I'm an artist and a designer, but what would I specialize in? So for me, as an artist, maybe I would specialize in black and white inks in the theme of haunted forests or something. It's very, very specific. So this is why we all talk about in this day and age about niching, because it helps you target where you should be in the market and what to focus on, because it's a lot in the market right now. There's a lot of saturation happening. There's so many things going on. You can easily get overwhelmed. You want to pursue something that you're passionate about and something that you would enjoy. So picking a niche that you're passionate about is really, really important, because you're going to be consistently doing this on a daily basis. And a good thing about a niche is it helps you stand out in the market. It's the strategy that really allows you to have a voice and to showcase what you can bring to others through a niche and be known for it. That's why so many people say niche down, and people say no because they're afraid. They're afraid to, let go of everything on the table to only pick one thing to focus on. And it's not a bad thing, but people see it as, a negative problem, and it's not. It's a strategy that's going to help you, and you'll benefit from it a lot. Now, in terms of niching in, the mental health industry as a mental health professional, the really specific niches that you could really hone in on is maybe something that is more of a generational thing. So you're focusing on teens going through puberty, or elder adults, maybe per se women that are going through menopause, or it could be just males that have went through childhood abuse when they were younger and are still trying to heal from that. So that's how specific you can get with some of these niches. You don't have to focus on demographics either. You can focus in on psychographics, which I think is more sustainable, in my opinion, than trying to focus on a demographic, whether it's male or female. And given this day and age as well, where we're being more introduced to the LGBTQ and more of non-binary and other genders, it's really not a good idea to hone in on specifically males and females, but maybe tying into more of a psychographic problem that they're having. So maybe the problem that they're having is maybe PTSD in, I'm going to say maybe within a school situation, or PTSD in a family crisis, or maybe just some social anxiety when it comes to business or trying to, make friends. Things like that. The psychographics really help to focus on the emotional aspect. So, for example, for me as a designer, I'm focusing on the psychographics of mental health professionals who are stressed out and overwhelmed with branding. And I found that, that really helps to hone in on a certain group of people that are just starting out, or they've been in business for a couple of years, but they don't know where to begin or where to level up, right? So this is kind of the reason why psychographics is being a bit more dominant on the scale of picking a niche, because you'll be able to speak to them much easier through a psychographic lens, touching in on the emotions and really getting them to have an emotional response and connect with you very, very deeply. And basically, when it comes to trying to find a niche, I would say don't force it either. Don't try and rush into trying to find a niche because you feel that you're behind. Let your niche find you, because you're probably still young in the industry and you're trying to figure out what suits you the best. Where can you shine the most? What are your strengths? And where can my strengths be easily applied? So these areas, I understand you want to get to the next level as fast as possible, but sometimes you need to kind of step back and be aware of what you've been doing and what things spark joy within the work that you do. That might help you find a niche that speaks to you. Again, don't force it if you can't find it. Let it come to you and you will figure it out, and you will see it come, towards you one day, and it will be shining. And you'll know right then and there, that's your niche. Another way that you can niche, so we talked a little bit about the psychographics. So psychographics is the first way of niching. Another way of niching in terms of your specific industry as a mental health professional is focusing in on a treatment that you have an approach, right? You have a different approach, as that could be formed as a niche. And focusing on the type of treatment, it might help you gain a little bit more of a range of clients if that's what you're looking for. Because if you don't want to hone in on specifically males or specifically females or transgender, those areas can limit you if you feel that way. So if you think that niching in terms of a certain treatment, that might give you a better range of clients to work with, but still focusing in on one approach that helps with healing and positive treatments that are going to really get your name out there. So the types of training that you can hone in on in terms of the niche, you could do hypnotherapy, EMDR, you could do DBT, or cognitive behavior therapy, because there's so many different approaches, and I don't think that one therapist would try and do all these treatments. It's just impossible. So for you as the mental health professional, you can hone in on these treatments and pick one that maybe you think would resonate with you the best, and you would be able to get yourself out there using this approach. There's many art therapists that I've been speaking to, and they're actually counselors, but they're honing in on art therapy as their treatment of healing and their approach to a little bit more of positive psychology. And I think it's great. A lot of people don't really like to see focusing in on trauma and just talking about it, instead of trying something a little bit more different, more fun, with using art and using art to heal. And in terms of niching, some of the great things about niching is having a little bit more of an increase of marketability. The reason why I say this is because you're going to be having to advertise yourself. You're going to have to probably buy ads or try to organically get your name out there. But with this niche, you can do it organically because you're so focused on a certain audience or a certain treatment, which allows you to just focus on one target and reach that target or reach that certain small group of people because you know where they are. That increases your marketability because you're able to just focus on one section. And at the same time, because you're consistently, showing up as yourself with this amazing niche group of people, plus, a niche service, it's really gonna allow you to stand out much more, because in terms of your marketability, people are going to be like, oh yeah, that Debbie really is good at art therapy. I really love the way she approaches any problem that we're having, allowing us to look inside out. That is really amazing when people start sharing those types of referrals, because that helps with being more marketable. So this is why having a niche in terms of services and a niche in terms of a group of people that you want to serve really is going to come together and help you get out there, but get out there on a small scale so that you're able to just market to a small group of people. But remember, those group of people, they're going to be your personal marketers, and they're going to help you grow. And that's what you want. That's kind of the strategy. That's why people say niching is important, because of this amazing increase of marketability on a small scale. Over time, it will grow. So like I said earlier, if you market yourself in a particular treatment or a particular concern, you are going to get the better chance of reaching out more to people. You're going to get better reach, because you're so focused on this one area, and people are going to recognize you for that. They're going to come to you because they know that you're the expert. You're focusing in on this specific treatment or this specific problem, and they'll say, oh, she only focuses on PTSD or anxiety, and I'm going to go to her because she seems to have really good background on this, and she seems to be only focusing on this, so this must be her passion. So this is the kind of mindset people kind of go around when they see someone like this that's really, really niched. Another good thing of choosing a niche really helps to decrease the burnout that you might be facing. You'll find yourself more passionate when you're focusing on a certain niche. And I know that you guys suffer a lot from burnout because you're trying to serve all these different people that maybe don't fit you, and you're trying to fit into their shoe. It doesn't work all the time, right? You're trying to bend over backwards to meet their needs, but you find yourself exhausted in the end. So having this niche, prepped and ready to go, and you're working your way towards that niche, really helps to just you don't have to feel so overwhelmed all the time. You know what you have to do. You know what goals you have to work towards, because that niche is helping you focus on a target instead of trying to do all the things. Now, in terms of, finding your niche, when you do find your niche, make sure you ask yourself, is this specific enough? Or am I just skimming the surface, if you know what I mean? So, for example, for me, I wanted to, at the beginning of my discovery phase of, trying to figure out what my niche was, I was basically skimming the surface. Yes, I want to help in mental health and wellness, but that's so broad, right? I have to kind of dig a little bit deeper, because mental health industry, it's huge. There's so many people in there, counselors, therapists, psychologists. Where do I want to focus? Now, in terms of, what I've been doing so far in my business, I've been really honing in on art therapists, because that's what I wanted to be, my alternate self. So I thought, okay, I need to dig a little deeper, because right now I'm just skimming the surface. It's not enough for me to really get specific. I need to get more specific, because if I do, I will be able to provide as much help to them as possible. Because if you're just kind of really I'm just going to do people with PTSD. Okay, well, what can you do to get under that a bit more, right? Like, keep asking yourself, why do I want to go in this field? Why does this matter to me? What can I do to help them? Is there a certain problem that I can dig a bit more into? So you want to keep asking yourself these deeper questions to find ways to dig deeper into this niche. Because yes, PTSD is also very generic. PTSD in what? The war, or PTSD in, maybe having a baby or a car accident. There's a whole other aspect of things here. So you want to dig deeper and get under, that generic title. Because the deeper you go, the more specific you get with your niche that you find, the better it will be when you start writing content for this, marketing it. You will feel so much better when you get more specific. And it's hard to get specific. I get it. But when you do, you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so we're just going to kind of recap a little bit again. So ways that you can niche as a mental health professional. So you can niche in a certain problem. So for example, people that are suffering from PTSD in terms of a car accident that happened, or an individual that's suffering from postpartum, I think that's what it's called, or women who are suffering from menopause and going through depression, or something like that. You really want to get specific if you're going to go into the area of the psychographics and focusing in on a certain problem. Because there are a lot of problems in the world. You want to make sure that you focus in on something that, will be easy to market, easy to come up with content for. So get really specific in terms of problems. So don't focus on the demographics, male, female. Focus just on the problems that come up for people. And maybe what are the biggest problems in today's day and age that you have a really good approach to, or have good experience with, or you can relate to. The other way of niching down is niching down through a type of treatment that you do, a type of therapy or approach that you do. And this can help you out in many different ways, because there's so many different therapists out there that are doing very different things, very different techniques that they take with them. Some are very traditional, some are more modern. So depending on who you are as an individual, as a professional, in terms of what you think will work best for this specific need. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about, the therapy, treatment, niching. So basically, you can increase your chances if you focus in on an approach in your practice. And even you can bring in some of the psychographic niche into this too. This would actually be even better for you. So you focus in on a certain problem, and then you hone it in and bring it together with a treatment that you do. And that might increase your chances of being more successful as a healthcare provider. So I'm going to give you an example, but you're going to take that problem. You're focusing on emotional counseling for couples. So couples that are struggling, maybe to work together as a team, or they're having some emotional struggles between each other, relationship problems, and you're using this interesting technique, counseling technique, to complement both of them together. So I recommend that you niche down, a specific problem for a specific audience, and also, a specific treatment, and see if you can mix it in together. If you're going to go more towards niching down just in your treatments, there was something that I read up saying that in cognitive behavior therapy, try to avoid that one because it's commonly used in all therapists' work. And as much as we want to hone in on that because it's huge right now, everybody's doing it. So that might decrease your chances on trying to stand out unless you have a unique selling point to differentiate yourself in terms of, helping people with, depression or anything like that, because it's quite common for the cognitive behavior therapy. When choosing a treatment that you offer, you want to consider, who would match well with this. So antisocial personalities or people that are bipolar, who knows, right? Whatever you think is going to complement the treatment that you're coming up with or the offer that you're coming up with has to match, right? So be mindful of that when you're picking a treatment. Now, what would be very interesting is if you niche in an area that's quite rare. Now, nothing's coming to mind right now in terms of this type of, niche, in terms of maybe a problem that's coming up. It's kind of hard at this point. I don't have any ideas, but if you have a niche that's rare, it's going to be really, really interesting because you are going to be in demand because nobody else is doing it. So if you can try to keep on top of society issues and what's happening in the world, you're able to kind of pick up on that, current problem. For example, one of the therapists that I know that shared a little blog with me that she provided free counseling with people who had issues at Western College. This is in my area, but there was an incident that happened at this college, and basically it was a sexual violence issue. And what this therapist did was opened up free counseling sessions for these individuals at this college, specific college, for sexual abuse, sexual violence survivors. And that was doing very, very well for her. And because she niched down so fast and quickly, people got onto it real fast, and it helped with getting her out there. So because, that's rare, right? I won't say that it's completely rare, but she was on top of society's issues and she was able to jump on it really quick and provide an offer that was, good for them, but good for her. So it was a win on both sides, and she was in demand. So this is something to keep in mind when you're trying to niche down. Try to find things that not many people are doing, and that will help you try to stand out in the market, find your strength and play with that strength, because that's what's going to better you in the future. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful to you. You found 2 ways that you can niche down as a mental health professional. So you can focus on the psychographics, concerns, struggles, things that stress them out every day. And you can also niche down on a certain approach or treatment that you do that might differentiate you from others. And on both levels, you can bring those 2 together where you have a niched audience and a niched service and still be amazing in your field. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.